Well, welcome to my Christmas video, and I thought I'd throw a few Christmas little video tips for you, seeing as it's right around the corner, just a few weeks away. And we're all going to be wanting to take pictures and video footage of the fun events around the season. So here's a few little tips for you that'll help you be a little bit more successful. Now, first of all, let's get into some fun, creative stuff. And the very first thing I want to talk about is think about your story. If you're shooting video footage of grabbing that Christmas tree for the season holidays, then make sure you understand the whole path of the story. And the story has a beginning and a middle and an end. So you want to shoot the kids and the spouse getting all dressed up and ready. You want to shoot singing Christmas carols in the car and so forth and so on. The whole path of that journey of getting that Christmas tree, including unwrapping the presents in the morning. Maybe you want to capture footage of the kids sleeping quietly, or maybe you want to capture the night before where they're putting cookies out for Santa, and so forth and so on. So make sure you think about the story in there. Don't just capture a bunch of little rambling stuff inside your video camera. And make sure you interview your family, especially if you've got funny uncles and strange grandmothers and stuff like that. You want to capture that fun energy and that wonderful, weird element that is your beautiful family, right? And shoot the action. Don't forget to shoot that wonderful stuff that's going on. Maybe the wife's in the back, or the husband's in the back cooking in the kitchen, or the dogs are ripping apart the paper that's already been ripped and all over the floor. Have some fun with it. Mix action with what we call B-roll in the business. So you want to mix that action up with something calm, perhaps maybe just a nice shot of the Christmas tree all by itself with all the presents inside, underneath the tree beautifully set, and then boom, the kids are tearing it all up. Maybe you want to shoot some B-roll footage of the dog passed out, belly to the wind in the corner, or the cat hiding underneath the couch, little things like that. Shoot the face. Don't just shoot these big wide shots with the people in your life as these tiny little elements in the footage. Go in close to the face. Our faces change every 5 or 8 years or so. So you want to make sure you capture what they look like right now. And then stay away from the boring stuff. If you think it's boring to shoot, then it's certainly boring to watch. We don't need to see close-ups of stirring the gravy or, 15 presents being opened. 1 or 2 or 5, or the most important ones, are what really counts. All right, so that's your creative stuff. Let's do a little techie stuff next, all right? So here's a couple of techie elements. You need to use a tripod. Having handheld camera with a lot of action going around is really hard on the eyes. Action behind the camera, action in front of the camera, not going to work. You know when to use a handheld camera is when the subject you're shooting is very still. Then a handheld camera might work. But generally, as a rule, use a tripod. And there are things out there called monopods as well. And you can give those a shot. They're just a single pod. They're easy to move around. But keep that camera still as best as you can. And here's another tip. Move in with your feet. Don't use the zoom on your lens any more than you absolutely have to. Zoom in with your feet. And that way you won't be playing around with the movement of the camera. Get right in there. The light is still the same, because as you zoom in the lens, you adjust the iris of your lens as well, and it adjusts and affects the amount of light coming into the camera. So walk closer, walk further apart, move around with your camera. And stay away from that autofocus as best as you can. It's going to constantly focus even when most cameras are on and recording. That autofocus doesn't stop. So it's constantly going in and out and in and out and adjusting your lens all the time. Turn it on to manual focus and get used to that. The POV shot is called the point of view shot. Get right behind the shoulder of your kids or your spouse and see what they're experiencing. And avoid windows behind your subject. It just turns your subject into a shadow. Too much light behind them makes them all dark. All right, there's your techie stuff for you. Not too difficult, is it? Now go have a good time. Have lots of fun. I can't wait to see your Christmas photos. Merry Christmas and a happy ho-ho to all of you. From all of us at Velvet Pumpkin.